ॐ ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव। ओम गुरुदेव भगवान शिव शंकर भोलेनाथ कैलाशपति महाराज की जय, भगवान व्यास जी महाराज की जय, शंकराचार्य भगवान की जय, स्वामी चिन्मयानंद भगवान की जय, स्वामी दयानंद भगवान की जय, स्वामी प्रबुद्धानंद भगवान की जय, स्वामी शुद्धानंद भगवान की जय, साध्वी आनंद ज्योति जी की जय, सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय, माता पिता की जय, सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय, सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय, सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरि मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्रीमद् भगवत गीता chapter 5 and verse number 6 we have to see. We have seen verse number 5. Yat sankhyaye prapyate sthanam tado yogorapi gamyate ekam sankhya cha yogam cha yah pashyati sa pashyati. The end, moksha, that is gained by the sannyasi is also gained by the karma yogis. The one who see knowledge and karma yoga as one, that person sees the truth. That person alone sees the truth. This is what Bhagavan has said in this verse. He says sannyasa looks easier. It is an easy option to renounce all the karmas and go for sannyasa. But Bhagavan says that person who sees sannyasa and karma yoga are one is one who really sees. It means that both are equal. If both are equal, I will take sannyasa because it is easier than karma. Karma yoga means I have so many duties to perform, whereas sannyasa seems to be free from the problems. In karma yoga, I have to get up early in the morning, take bath, and do the required rituals and prayers, do the duties involved in the life of karma yogi, and they are endless. And in Arjuna's case, it was even bigger. It can even amount to killing people. Sannyasa definitely seemed easier. I have no duties, therefore no problem. This may have been Arjuna's thinking, and therefore Krishna goes on to tell him that knowledge is difficult to gain without proper preparation with the life of Karma Yoga, which the life of Karma Yoga provides. That is why he says the necessity of living a life of Karma Yoga. In the next verse, in verse number 6, he describes the life of a Karma Yoga. Sannyaasastu mahabaho dukkham patumayogataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena nachirenadhigacchati. Mahabaho, O Almighty armed Arjuna, ayogata, without karma yoga, sannyasa, renunciation of action, apatum, to accomplish dukkham, is difficult. Whereas yoga yuktaha, committed to a life of karma yoga, munihi, one who is capable of reasoning, na charena, not after long time but quickly, brahman adi gacchati, gains. Renunciation of action, Arjuna the mighty armed, is difficult to accomplish without karma yoga. Whereas one who is committed to a life of karma yoga and is capable of reasoning gains Brahman quickly. This is what Bhagavan says. Although both sannyasa and karma yoga are the means to knowledge, without yoga it is not easy to live a life of sannyasa, let alone gain the knowledge. Living a life of sannyasi is difficult without going through the karma yoga. That is what Bhagavan is telling Arjuna here. If you take the word sannyasa to mean knowledge, it is certainly difficult to gain sannyasa without karma yoga, which is essential for antakaran shuddhi, purification of mind. Without antakaran shuddhi, you cannot gain knowledge. You cannot even live a life of sannyasa. Thus, karma yoga is the means to accomplish sannyasa, both in terms of lifestyle as well as knowledge. Whether a person takes a life of sannyasa, the person acquires certain qualities of sannyasi if he lives a life of karma yoga. However, people under the spell of raga, dvesha will find it very difficult to live a life of sannyasi. Such people sometimes take sannyasa simply because they are disenchanted with life, being unable to fulfill their ragas and dveshas. Impelled as they are by their raga dveshas, they continue to be frustrated. Even as a sannyasi, the people may have to deal with the mind if raga dvesha have not been resolved. Therefore, he has a lot to do in addition to Guru Seva. Serving the Guru, it is strictly with reference to one's raga dvesha that the two lifestyles are given, and choice exists only in terms of these lifestyles. Suppose you go to the Guru with many ragas and dveshas in your mind. If you are lucky, the Guru who knows the subject matter perhaps can help you to neutralize them. By serving the Guru and following his instruction, you can gain antakaran shuddhi. What Krishna points out here is that without karma yoga, sannyasa is not easy to accomplish. He does not say it is impossible, but he says it is difficult to accomplish sannyasa without preparation of karma yoga. Dukkham apatum ayogata. You cannot become a sannyasi by will. By just deciding to do so, you need to be endowed with Karma Yoga. Karma Yukta means that you need to live a life of Karma Yogi. One who has endowed with yoga is one who can understand and analyze what is being said. Such a person is Muni. One can understand and who gains Brahman. Muni Brahma Adhigacchati. Nyasa means renunciation and sannyasa means perfect or total renunciation. A renunciation with maturity. Sannyasa is renunciation with maturity. Without maturity, it is not sannyasa. Sannyasa, Sankhya and Brahman have the same meaning. Knowledge of Brahman is Sankhya, which also means sannyasa. A sannyasa is also called Brahma, which is gained by Yoga Yukta, the one endowed with yoga and who is Muni. Such a person gains Brahman, otherwise referred to as sannyasi, knowledge of Brahman. Adhigacchati means goes to or gains. And then does the person, and when does the person gains Brahman? Na chirena, not after a long time. Once a person has the maturity on account of Karma Yoga, it does not take time for a person to gain Brahman. How this is so is explained in this next verse. Verse number 7, Bhagavan presents a natural order of how one gains this knowledge. Yoga yukto vishuddha atma vijitatma jitendriya sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. Yoga yuktaha, one who has committed to a life of Karma Yoga, the one who has committed to a life of Karma Yoga. Vishuddha Atma, one who has a purified mind. Vijit Atma, one who has mastered the body, organs of senses. Jitendriya, the one whose sense organs are under control. Sarva Bhute Atma, Atma Bhuta Atma, the one who knows oneself to be the self in all the beings. Kuravannapi, even while doing action, na lipyate, is not affected. One whose mind is purified by being committed to a life of Karma Yoga, who has mastered the body and the sense organ, and one who knows oneself to be the self in all beings. The one who is able to recognize the self in all beings, such a person is not affected even while doing actions. In this verse, Bhagavan tells Arjuna in detail how one gains this knowledge, and at the same time explains the meaning of expression na chirena. Na chirena. No time. There is no time in getting the knowledge. It takes time to gain the necessary maturity of the mind. It may take years and lives after lives to get the necessary maturity of the mind to gain knowledge. And this maturity is the result of living a life of Karma Yoga. Once the maturity is gained, not such time passes before the knowledge is gained. Na chirena adhigacchati. A natural order is presented in this verse. Lord Krishna begins by saying that person under discussion has the discipline of Karma Yoga. As a result of that, the person becomes Vishuddha Atma. One whose Atma, mind, is Vishuddha, pure. Here Atma refers to the mind and soul. Vishuddha Atma means the one whose mind is free from the spell of ragas and dveshas. The one whose mind is free from ragas and dveshas. Next, the person acquires a control of the physical body, meaning the organ of action, and also control of the organs of perception, such a person is Vijit Atma. The word Atma in Vijit Atma refers to the body, which has the ability to move and therefore synonymous with the organs of action. The movements and actions of the physical body must also be properly integrated. Therefore, the Karma Yogi is one who not only has his senses under control but also the organs of action. To have the control of the organs of action is possible only when one's mind is pure, when it is no longer under the spell of ragas and dveshas. Thus, there is an order presented here, a natural order that is very beautiful. Having the life of Karma Yoga, the mind is pure, and therefore the body, mind and senses are under one's control. Such a person then becomes one who knows oneself as the self of all being and is called Sarva Bhutatma. Sarva Bhuta Atma Bhutatma. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. Sarva means all and Bhuta means beings. And who are these beings? Every being, from Brahmaji to a mosquito. Every being. All of them. It means that one's self is the self of all being and that there is no other self or anything else apart from the self. Previously the person knew the self as separate from every other self. But now the person knows the self to be one who is self of all beings. It means that the self is one non-dual self, the truth of all beings. Everything else being anatma. This is the only self and the non-dual self that there is. Understanding every being as self is no other than self. And also understanding everything else being anatma. Every being now one knows that every other being is self. He himself is the self, is all the beings. Now the person is able to see to be one who is the self of all beings. That the self is one non-dual self, the truth of all beings. There are no two selves, myself and his self. The two selves are one. The being is one, the truth is one. And understanding the truth as one and everything else as anatma. This is the only self, the non-dual self there is. The self does not become non-dual by any process. It is only by knowledge that the self is discovered to be non-dual. By knowledge we have to discover that self is non-dual. There are no two selves. When there are no two selves, then there are no two persons, two beings. It's only one being, and truth is that being. Ishvara is. By knowledge, the person discovers the fact that he or she is the non-dual self, which is the self in all. In the wake of this knowledge, the person comes to be Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. He or she performs no action, even though appearing to do so, being free from the senses of doership. Such a person performs karma according to one's prarabdha for the welfare of the world or just to sustain the body. But one is not tainted, stained. One is not tainted, stained or affected by the results of karma in any manner. Kuravana api na lipyate. The person doesn't get affected by the result because he understands. Now he knows that he is not the doer. He is a non-doer. The person who knows that the self is the self of all cannot have a sense of doership. The self performs no action whatsoever because it is all pervasive. There is nothing other than self. He understands. Even though appearing to perform action, the wise person is free from the notions of doership and is therefore not affected by karma. This is exactly what Krishna said in the chapter number 4. The person who sees non-action in the action and action in non-action is wise among all the people and has done all that was to be done. Kritsan karma krit. Kritsan karma krit. A wise among all, the wise among people, and has done all that is to be done. There is nothing more to be done because there is nothing more left. By one's understanding self as the non-doer, there is nothing to be done. This is the knowledge sannyasa accomplished by wise who is Sarva Bhuta Atma Bhutatma. That is, that the Atma in all being is one's own Atma, is a fact. But previously the person did not know it. This is the difficulty. This is the problem. This is avidya to be discovered, that the Atma in all being is one's own Atma. There are no two Atmas. It's one own Atma is a fact. But previously person did not know it. Once this knowledge takes place, one is no longer tainted or affected in any way by the performance of action. One finds oneself free from karma even while performing it. When there is where then is the question of wise giving up karma? The wise man is said that he has given up karma. But where is the question? Only when you are affected by karma does the question of giving up arises. In that case, even if you give up karma, you are still being affected by it. In other words, if you are not doing the karma that you should be doing, you will be doing something else. That is why the lifestyle of a sannyasa is only appropriate if one is ready for it. Otherwise it is difficult. Krishna tells Arjuna here that only when action is given up through knowledge is there real sannyasa. The real sannyas is there, wherein one knows that one performs no action even while doing action. Kuravana api na karoti. Further, Bhagavan explains, not doing in spite of doing. नैव किञ्चित् करोमीति युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित् पश्यानसर्नवन् स्परसन् जिगरानसन्नन् गच्छ स्वपन्सवम्. Na eva kinchit. This is we have seen. Na eva kinchit karomi iti yuktah manyet tattvavit. Pashyena shravan sparshan jigharan ashanan gachan swapan. Shwasan prapal श्वसन प्रलपन विसर्जन ग्रहणन उन्मिषन निमिषन अपि इंद्रियाणि इंद्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्ते इति धारयान्. युक्तः, the one who is together. Tattvavati, tattvavit, one who knows the truth. Pasyen, seeing. Sarnavan, hearing. Sparshan, touching. Jigharan, smelling. Asanan, eating. Gachan, walking. Swapan, sleeping. Swasan, breathing. Pralapan, talking. Visarjan, releasing. Grahan, grasping. Onamisan, opening the eyes. Nimisan, closing the eyes. Api, even while Indriyani, the organs, Indriyasritu, in their objects. Vratante, are engaged. Iti tas dharayan, dharyan, knowing full well, kinchit, anything, na eva karomi, I do not do at all. Iti tas manyet, would think. Would thinks. The one who is together, the one who is together, who knows the truth, thinks I don't do anything at all. Even while seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, tasting, eating, walking, sleeping, breathing, talking, releasing, grasping, opening and closing of the eyes, the person knows full well that the organs are engaged in their objects. In these two verses, Bhagavan continues to describe the person who is Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. It is not that such a person has done away with the actions. Rather, he or she is not affected by them in any way. The word kurvan, doing, is the previous verse is in present continuous tense. Kuravan, continuously. He is not affected while doing action. The Sarva Bhuta Atma Bhutatma is not affected by the actions or its result. How can a person who performs action not be affected by the result of the action then? Then Swamiji says, whether the person likes the result, the law of karma slaps it on him or her. Does Krishna really means that the person who has self-knowledge is not affected by the results of action? Yes, because the one does not look upon oneself as the karta, doer, and therefore is not affected by the result. Bhagavan explained this in these two verses, giving number of examples of the various action that such a person performs. Pasyan, seeing, Shravana, hearing, Sparsha, touching, Jigaran, smelling, Asanan, eating, Gachan, walking, Swapan, sleeping, Swasan, breathing, Pralapan, talking, Visarjan, releasing, Grahanam, grasping, Unamasan, Unmisan, opening of the eyes, and Nimesan, closing the eyes. Thus the word Kuruvan of the previous verse is explained elaborately in the above manner in this verse. Actions can be either voluntary or involuntary, or they can be both, like breathing and opening and closing of the eyelid. The activity mentioned in this verse stand for both voluntary and involuntary actions. Each sense organ and organ of action has its own function to perform, its own purpose to serve. For example, the eyes see and hear, ears hear, and the legs walk, and the one who knows, that is described here as Yukta Tattvavit. Tattvavit means the knower of the truth of oneself, and Yukta means Samahita, a person who is together, the person. So the same person who was previously referred as Yoga Yukta and Sarva Bhut Atma Bhut Atma is called Yuktaha, and Tattvavit here, the person who is together, who knows the truth of Atma, knows the self to be one, who performs no action. He knows Naiva Kinchita Karomi, I do nothing, I do not do anything. Unless a person is Yukta, together, he or she cannot be Tattvavit, wise. Therefore, the person Yukta and Tattvavit are used here to describe the wise person. The wise person keep on doing knowingly. He knows that he is not the doer. Krishna is not giving a mandate here. Lord Krishna is not giving any mandate to Arjuna. As the mood of verb manyeta here might suggest, he is not saying you must look upon yourself as one who performs no action, but he is saying, is that a person who is Yukta and Tattvavit does not consider namanyate, the self, to be performer of any action, rather than person who knows I perform no action. This is because there is no action performed by the person. No, even while appearing to perform all these actions, seeing, hearing, touching and so on, the person knows that it is the sense organs and organs of action which are engaging themselves in their own spheres of activity. Indriyarastu vartante, and knowing this very well, dharayan, what does the person think during these actions? Naiva kinchita karomi, I perform no action whatsoever. So aham atma, so the aham atma is a karta and performs no action. The person does not have the notion of doership in the self, meaning that one does not look upon the self as a doer. The Tattvavit understands that the sense organ and organ of action are simply doing their jobs. In the next verse, the Karma Yogi is again discussed. In next verse, Bhagavan describes the Karma Yogi again, which we will see tomorrow. The verse number 10, how one's action can become an offering to Ishvara. It is very important. Brahmanadhaya karmani sangha tayatva karoti yaha lipyate na sapapena padmapataram ivam bhasha. The one who performs action, giving up attachment, offering one's action onto Brahman, is not affected by sins, just as the leaf of lotus does not get wet by water. What an amazing statement. Here karmani refers to action not only enjoyed by the Veda but other actions as well. And how are these actions to be performed? Sangam tayaktva, giving up attachment for the result of one's action, and brahmani adhaya, offering the actions to Ishvara, the Lord. From this we understand that it is the karma yogi who is being discussed here. Only the karma yogi offers all his actions to the God, Ishvara. When a karma yogi offers his or her actions to the Lord, it implies giving up one's attachment. Here a question may arise, how can I offer my action onto Ishvara? I am walking, talking, seeing, hearing and doing various things. How can I offer these actions onto the Lord? I can understand that placing flower or fruit and itra of the Lord is an offering. I can offer prasada, I can offer flowers, I can offer fruits. But how can I offer walking, talking, hearing, smelling, seeing? How can all these actions be an offering? When I am cooking, cleaning the floor and washing the dishes, how does this action become an offering to the Lord? Actions do become offering when Ishvara is looked upon as dharma. This is what Bhagavan is going to explain in detail. Beautifully explained. All these karmas can be offered. You are walking, talking, doing anything, sir, anything you can offer to the Lord. In chapter number 2, verse 47, we have already seen how one's action can become offering. Again, Bhagavan is going to explain this in detail. And that is how the karmas, the person becomes karma yogi, karmas become karma yoga, and then marches towards Antakaran Shuddhi. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnad Purnamudashyati Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyati. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavad Gita Namo Namaha. Here I wish everybody who is hearing a very, very happy Janmashtami. See, Bhagwan doesn't take birth. Because he is in all forms. He is the Atma of all forms. There is no other thing other than him. So he is ever present. He is ever present. So the one who is ever present is never born and never dies. All forms take place in him and then vanishes in him. All forms take place in Ishvara. Ishvara doesn't take a form. The form takes place in Ishvara. So the form of Bhagavan Krishna took form in Ishvara himself. With all the knowledge he had, he is considered to be Ishvara. He is the teacher of Vedanta. Through Gita he has taught Arjuna. He has taught to Uddhav and many others. Only Ishvara teaches. There is no one else. No jiva can teach. How can untruth teach truth? Only truth can teach truth. Only Jnani can give Jnana. A Jnani can. That is why teacher is considered as
Ishvara. If right teaching is being given, if the teacher is giving right, if the teacher is absolutely virakta, has a right knowledge, we have discussed this, qualities of teacher also. So Bhagavan is teacher, the first teacher. He teaches Vedanta, he gives knowledge of non-dual self to Arjuna. This is what we are seeing. So wishing everyone, we consider today as Ishvara's, Krishna taking form in Ishvara, or let us say Ishvara taking a form of Bhagavan Krishna. Today being Janmashtami, so I wish everybody a knowledge Ashtami, Ashtami of knowledge. May we all gain, thrive for knowledge.
Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Hari Om Tat Sat.